All right, y'all. We here for another episode of Deep Thoughts. Today we're at an undisclosed location in Miami. We got Beyond in the building.
Yo.
We had schedule it with him, and we couldn't be in the studio, because he's a busy man.
I like to keep it moving sometimes, I wouldn't say busy all the time, but, you know.
But, I mean, you're an artist, you're a musician.
hmm
You what you do? What is that? What would you call
I'm an
the
artist.
anime?
I like to call myself an artiste with an E because the difference of an artist and an artiste is that an artiste is more of a performer in a sense of like a performer of the arts, not just music or illustrating, but like almost of all the arts in a sense. And so that's kind of like where my field is, where I have different pockets and talents in art,
Mm-hmm.
illustrating, music, um, filmmaking,
Film, yeah.
editing, a lot. So
You wrote a children's book too, right?
and I'm also an author for like three children's books. So that's why I kind of see myself like as an artiste. Yeah.
How did What made you get into writing children's book?
It was a challenge. I love challenges. Um, Ever since like I was young, I always was just like being challenged with something difficult. And at the time, I thought writing a children book was difficult because it was my personal challenge to complete something at the time. It was hard for me to complete anything because I would start something, but I would never finish. So I would like when I first started writing a children book, I had like three like stories, and I went halfway on them, and I was like, "Yo, B, you gotta stop like continuing a story. I mean, making a story but never finishing it." So I was like, "All right, I have to focus and dedicate myself on one thing," and that
Yeah.
was the biggest challenge for me because my energy of influences and creativity changes a lot, and I had to really discipline myself to just like stay in one place and keep this one thing on routine.
Mm-hmm. We also got Renat in the building. I don't know if we mentioned him in the intro.
Yo, what's good, bro? It's popping.
But
It's
yeah.
me.
So are all three books from those are those the three stories? Are those
So
or were they different stories?
I had three, maybe four stories that never got published. One story that I was working on Hanji Mountain. That was the first one I actually finished. And then once I finished that, I was like, wait, if you could finish one book, you could finish the second one. And then my second book was Juice Kids. And then I was like, all right, let's push the bar up a notch. You're comfortable with kids stories. How about doing a young adult? And then so I did that, and all of the books I wrote, sorry, they had illustrations in them. So I tried to compound storytelling with images on this young adult, especially the young adult novel.
Yeah.
I wanted to put images and words together and make people feel it with the visual aesthetics and the storytelling. Because a lot of young adult books don't have illustrations because it's considered, oh, that's a children's book. Well, I
Yeah.
was like, no, like why can't we have that for adult books and young adult books, like comic books? Adults read comic books, right?
Did you take inspiration from any particular book or author or
My favorite book is The Alchemist. I don't get inspirations from other books. I'm not like funny thing is I'm not much of a reader. I'm not much of a reader, but I am a writer, which is crazy. But that doesn't mean I don't read. I read, but not as often. I do mostly like audiobooks. It helps me. It helps me more because I like to move and listen to things. So I would rather much do that than sit down and read words personally.
That's sounds good. I mean, I've been getting back into reading a little bit recently.
That's good. It's always good.
It's I mean, you can learn from it. Like, there's a lot of knowledge that certain people have, and
Yeah. I'm not downplaying reading
yeah.
books at all.
No.
Just to put that disclaimer.
No, I mean, you've read some yourself. The Alchemist. A few people have mentioned that to me. I might give it a look.
It's deep. It has a huge meaning behind it. You know, I don't want to spoil it, but
Yeah.
the book made me really think about life at the end. Um, when the main character had to return back home, I was like, yo, yeah, I resonate with this. I don't want to say too much, but since you're gonna read it, but I was like, yeah, and then the different messages that the book had in general about how it explains something about beginner's luck. How when you're doing something for the first time,
Mhm.
you can easily win at a game compared to a professional who's been doing that for years. It's because you got this like I'm just paraphrasing. You have this like innocent childlike mind where you're curious, you want to get into it, but without the complications of am I doing this right? Is this the basics? Is this how I supposed to shoot a ball if I'm playing basketball?
Yeah.
You're just kind of like freestyling and seeing what works for you.
Mhm.
And the reason why that resonated with me was because that's how I approach my creativity. It's very intuitive based, less kind of the less of the rudimentary of trying to learn something before you get into it. Like, I don't know, a musician, right? Some people will go to school to study music. I would much rather take a approach of like, let me pick up this guitar and play a whole bunch of nasty notes and see what happens.
Mhm.
And then once I get really comfortable with that, I would like go back to the basics
Yeah.
and kind of like, all right, now that I've played, let's do it a little bit more pro like,
Yeah.
and learn from the people who do it.
Hey guys. Um. Yeah. I mean, that's always a good way, you know, because that's like the hands-on approach of
Yeah.
doing stuff more than just like what else. I mean, you could like learn and then try. But you're always gonna have to do like a hands-on approach
Hmm.
at the end. Like if you want to actually do something.
It varies for the individual. Even in school, math was my worst subject because it was it had a set of rules. It had a set of, well, you got to solve this problem. They'll probably give you like three ways to do it. I was that dude that was looking for the fourth way. Yeah.
But that's good.
So
You can learn like you
I w-
in
and-
math. You could actually do that.
yeah.
I mean, but you have to like search and you have to have a good teacher too who would help you.
See, that's the crazy part. It wasn't a teacher who really helped me with that. It was like it was me doing the hands-on thing, you know, with the math being the subject here, and being really bad at it and like not understanding because I wanted to do it my way. Because I'm like, all right, you give me this variable, x plus 2 minus yb, whatever, or y7. I'm like, okay, what if I took down y7, took down that y, and then put it in different parts of the paper? Weird. Like, what is this? Like, imagine you give that to a professor or a teacher. They're like, show me your work, but you have a solution here, you have a solution there, but they're not connected. It's like a puzzle,
Yeah.
and that's just how my mind works sometimes. Like, I just want to find my own way to solve this puzzle instead of using a system.
Yeah. What's your favorite form of creating?
Wow. I don't even think well, three. I have my three favorite things, which is art, music, and film. So those are my three.
If you had to pick one, would you pick art or like if you
F-
only
F-
had to pick one to that you could do or like be
Ooh.
amazing at?
I would choose movie because I could add music to it, and I love music, and I could still add my drawings, or just movie is like the ultimate medium. Music and art, I could
What
still
about
put
you?
in stream.
Music or
What? Out of the three, which
Like, or just creating in general, what do you think would be your favorite, or what is your favorite?
to do?
Yeah, like in terms of creating stuff, like anything,
Um,
any form of entertainment.
So I'd say music, but for that to work, it wouldn't be an individual thing. It would be like a team base. So I wouldn't. When I say music, I don't mean me doing this all by myself. Like I would need a team of people doing it with me because it's all about the clashing. How do you say it, man?
Ideas.
No, but the juxtaposition of it all. You feel me? So you bring your own element, and I bring mine, and we make magic out of it. So I choose music, but I love art. I love art as well, man. Anytime I see a good piece of art, I can't help but stop and actually have a conversation with you. And I was just doing this inside. I saw a guy drawing a zebra.
Yeah.
Mike was his name. I was like, yo, what?
Mike
Dude, we
Lopez.
met like a week and a half ago and we were talking about art and he said, oh man, I got to get back into it. So yeah, you do. And now I come back and he's literally into it. You know what I'm saying? He's doing it.
Yeah.
So it hit me. It hit me differently. I like when people like really go after their passion. And then with film, film is amazing, bro. I don't give that enough like time. I don't put enough time in film. But I know if I did, yeah, that would probably end up being my first, like my love for real. Cause I'm all about self-expression, especially now, man.
Mm.
And I feel like there's a lot of expression and just and picture, bro.
That's what's up.
But it's music.
Music. Yeah, like film for me, man, that was the closest thing I could grab to making my imagination real. So I went to school to study that. Got my associates instead of a bachelor or a master's because my professors was like, "Bro, you stay here and do a bachelor, you're not gonna get no EXP. You either go to New York or Cali and get that EXP, or you do another 4 years here and gain less experience, but have a lot of intelligence about it." And I was like, "Well, I'm moving to New York then." And so that was film was my first thing. No, actually, art. Because that was the closest thing I could get to creativity. Sketching on a paper.
Yeah, it's the easiest.
It's
to do,
easy.
yeah. You just need a paper and a pencil or a pen.
Yeah. Film is more challenging because you gotta deal with. It's not just you. You know, you got a whole
Yeah.
group, a whole. Everybody is, especially if you're the director or a producer. Everybody's like looking at you on what to do next. You know, the actors, the cast. You know. So that film is like my. It's my go-to thing.
Yeah.
Even though I'm doing music now, and I love all of them equally. Like I love music. Like my whole heart loves it. My whole heart loves film, and my whole heart loves just drawing. And that's why I said it's big three. You know,
It's hard to choose one.
it's hard. It's hard.
Nah, I mean, I don't. Well, I do a little bit creative stuff, but I guess coming up, I never dabbled in that. I was more like analytical and doing like the math and the sciences and all that stuff.
That's cool.
But now I'm starting to dabble in it, and it is cool, like coming up with ideas.
Yeah.
Cause they'll come to you and you're just like, where did it come from? Like,
I seen
Yeah.
what you did with Keem with his logo.
yeah,
That was creative. I'm like, who did this? Jason? Jason? Nah.
yeah. So it's pretty interesting. It's like tapping into it basically is tapping into another part of your brain.
Yeah. The left brain is like the more logical. The right brain is the more creative aspect of the body.
Yeah.
I didn't make this up. You can look it up.
Speaking of the body though, or like the brain, what do you guys think about like tech implants?
What you
I was
got?
thinking about this last month.
gotta
I mean, last night,
elaborate.
like
You gotta
tech
elab-
implants,
I know what tech means and I know what implant means.
like
Now, what are they doing with this?
I don't know. Well, there's multiple ways. Like you can think about it in any aspect, like in terms of maybe in your brain and making you able to remember more, or
Oh,
even
okay.
smarter, or
Mm.
able to
I thought you were referring to like some type of
also those too, like
steroid
cybernetic.
type of like
You
like
could
super strength type thing.
that too, like
I believe it. I believe it.
not now you believe it, but
I believe it's possible.
yeah,
That's
for
what
sure,
I'm
for
trying
sure,
to say.
yeah.
If they haven't done it
No, no,
already. You never know.
I think it inevitably that means the technology will come. We'll
Mhm.
be able to
Tap in chip. What is it called? Tech implants.
yeah.
Yeah.
Or
Would you do it? Add a
that's a
tech
good question.
implant?
Because I mean, imagine what you could do with it. Like you could jump
Yeah.
higher and
Yeah.
no fall damage,
Yeah.
and like you'd be stronger.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, what do you guys thoughts on that? Because it's I mean, it's not. I don't think it'll happen in our lifetime.
Probably not. Maybe you never know.
But they are working on like a neural chip.
Tech imp. What you got? Any thoughts, Flamo?
It's cool, bro. I like the idea of it.
You
So
do it?
be it. Everybody, would I do it? Probably not. But it's cool. I mean, I ain't tripping. I'm pretty sure if you walk into a room and the room is filled with people with implants, different abilities and attributes,
Yeah.
Different vibe, right?
and you a regular dude, and these dudes calculating in their head, doing crazy math problems or coming up with these very abstract ideas, and you're like, hold on, wait a minute. Yeah, I need that too. You know what I'm saying? Like you.
I feel. I feel.
So
That's interesting to think about. Like reading a book. Imagine like it's like a chip. Like a book is a chip, and you
just get
put
it
it
and
in-
you
and-
put it
and
in,
that's
or
how
you
you read
download
it.
it, you scan it with your eyes,
that's how
and now
read
you
it.
have all of the information.
Mm.
So
That's-
I mean, it's
that's
cool.
crazy.
Would I get it? Like I said, probably not. But
That's way too ancient. I think. Well, do you have any thoughts
Um,
on a little tech implant?
I'm cautious with science.
Yeah.
Like, I appreciate science.
Yeah.
Some parts of science, I think we go too far with it. But I like to have a good balance. So I like to learn about some scientific stuff and adapt, or I want to say accept, because I have no like power to accept or whatever. I'm trying to find the right word. More like um be okay with it. Like, so if people are putting implants, like tech implants in their bodies, I would want to know. I would want to see it. I'm curious, like, So that's the science part of me that's like, yeah, let me see it, yeah. But then the other part of me, the spirit, the spirit side of me, is like, man, keep it orga, bro. Like, keep it organic.
Yeah.
Like, you don't need that stuff. But then if I'm 60 and they're telling me, yo, I see you got a limp. If you plant this chip in your leg, maybe you go all a little bit better. I might do it. A little bit.
Yeah.
I just might. So that's what I mean. There's a 50-50 with me on anything that deals with science and technology. I like it, but I don't like to dive too deep in it where I only depend on it.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
I brought it up because the thought I had is, I think inevitably we might end up merging, like humans will end up evolving with technology.
Yeah.
Which it's a crazy idea, and I mean I don't necessarily think it's like I don't 100% agree with it, but I think it's inevitable. It might inevitably happen,
Mm-hmm.
but it seems really crazy because right now, what we consider natural or to be human is it's probably gonna be super different than 500 or 1,000 years from now.
Mm-hmm. You have anything to say?
And especially
on
with
that?
the world, like, 'cause we live in a world where we try to, like, it's like an efficient world where we try to be efficient and advance technologically, and I mean it would definitely help us do that, because I mean it'd make people smarter, or potentially if like the chip makes you be able to like remember or like learn
yeah, but
faster.
I don't even think it's about being smart though. Like when it comes to things like that, there needs to be some sort of
Balance.
yeah, some ethical
Yeah.
balance, you know. But what is ethics to you? Because what you may think is ethical may not be, you know, the same like morals that somebody else shares, if that makes sense. So somebody who believes, oh, okay, all of us being smart
Yeah.
would advance all, you know, it would take us to the
Mm.
next level. The artist who believes, oh, life is about the, you know, the nuances may not agree with that.
Yeah.
You feel me? It's not always yo one way and not the other ways. It's
Right.
just this way is correct. It's not always like that, bro.
Yeah.
It's about having that variety, being able to you know, put your hands in the pot and get whatever comes out. There's points in time when the movement of, you know, smarts, intelligent excelled us and took us to a next level, and then there's the points where it was all about art, like the
Mm.
Renaissance, or you know what I'm saying. There's
Mhm.
different, and we need that. We need that variety to take us. So once you start implementing things like chips and different things into society, it starts to break that pattern and take us back to, okay, yo, it's just this way. Now everybody is like the same being in a sense.
Yeah.
You feel me? There's no variety. Nothing makes us
Mhm.
human anymore. Now we're like AI walking around in human bodies. Doesn't make sense.
It's true.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I had that thought, and then I also had it like when I was thinking about, it, I was like if I lived 500 years ago, and like I thought about now, where like you know you have these skyscrapers, these big buildings, and you have like people working like robots, kind of like 9 to 5 jobs in a corporate office, and
Yeah.
like
The rat
everybody's
race,
on your phone. Yeah,
especially in New York.
that would be you like if you lived 100, 500 years ago, you think like people like they might not even be human,
Mm.
basically, because it's a very different lifestyle. Although we haven't changed biologically, because I mean that's what the chip would do in a sense, because you know you would literally have technology implanted with you.
Yeah,
But we kind of already do with the phone that's always in our
The phone,
hand.
yeah.
it's
But
always.
the phone is detachable,
But
bro.
see, look at your phone. It has physical wallets attached to it,
Yeah.
and it has an Apple, like an Apple. That's Apple, right?
Mhm.
And you probably have like Apple Pay or something, you know, your Apple Wallet.
Yeah. So that's
For the phone, has become like our avatar, like something that represent us.
True. And then so and then it would, bro, it would cause crazy amounts of harm and a traumatic experience for many of us. So for an example, let's say you're walking around with your phone and you're dealing with um I don't know, like worries or something, right? But those worries are on your phone.
Mm-hmm.
So the second you put that down
yeah.
and you know you look away or you start to actually live your life, those they fade a little bit, and you know, unless you pick it back up and you're like, oh damn, okay, I got to deal with this stuff again. Now when it's in you,
Yeah.
it's always with you. I mean, there's no like turning a blind eye, especially if you have, for an example, let's say we're going really deep into the future where, damn, how much money do I have in my bank account? And then it's like a bat of an eye, and then it just appears in your reality, like you see that number. And let's say, oh, you're in the negatives, and you're always staring at that, and that number is like not changing or it's not going anywhere. You see like negative
You don't gotta
five.
look at it.
You don't, but it's there. It's always there.
I mean, it's there now.
It's not, but it's
Right.
detachable. Is what I'm saying. It's like putting that
Yeah.
that phone down or stepping out into the world.
You know
But you can step out into
Yeah.
the world and still have
Yeah.
that with you.
Like
You feel me? Like
I
it's,
know exactly
it's
what you mean.
Yeah.
Like I do this with Instagram sometimes. I like even now, like I take a 2 week break. No Instagram. I'm not looking at nobody, just like off. And then I just get into me. And then I'll come back later on. Because I mean if no, let me put it this way. Instagram takes your attention a lot.
Yeah.
Right? It really does. And I got nothing against people who use Instagram as a business or who has to be on Instagram on a 24/7 because that's how they make money, whatever, you know. And then there's people who I can't speak for people, but all I can say with Instagram, not Instagram, but just like the
Social
whole
media.
subject of social media and the phones, is that I think it's healthy to take a break.
Yeah.
Like I think Flamo, he said that when he wakes up, he doesn't go on his phone. It's on silent. He doesn't check it until he gets his mind right, and that's dope. You know? Dope. That's another form of doing it too.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been taking a break. I haven't been on like I deleted IG for a while.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll be back soon, but I don't know. It's kind of nice not to have.
Come back with travel pictures.
What if the tech helped you meditate? Like
The
implant?
tech?
Yeah,
Nah,
man.
Then it's
Nah.
not meditating.
Nah,
It's not
Why
meditating.
not?
That's
Nah.
not meditating.
That's
then.
not meditating.
Wait, what is the
You-
definition of
not
meditation?
You distort the whole process of meditation.
Meditating is separating yourself from all of that. Well, it could be anything. I mean, people find meditation in different things, right? People find meditating in different things. Somebody could just go to the park and just shoot and lose like everything. You feel me? They'll repeat that function and just forget that they're even doing
Like the movie Soul,
just
they
fall into it.
they use what's that word? That term they use in Souls, the movie, the Disney movie.
What? I don't know.
I don't know.
Like
I ain't seen a long time ago.
you're in your focus or you're in your
Zone?
zone.
Yeah.
You're in your
Yeah,
zone.
when you're in your zone, you're basically in that meditative state where you just there's no thought that comes. You know what I'm saying? That goes
Yeah.
into it. You're just doing. You're just in the act of
Well,
doing
that's like a flow.
whatever it is. Yeah, zone flow, whatever you want to call it. But that's also meditating,
You
where there's no. All right, for an example,
I never thought about it like that.
what are you trying to achieve when you're meditating? What are you going for?
Me? For you?
I'm just in general,
Oh.
like what are you going for?
Well, I think that depends on the type of meditation because sometimes you do it to like clear your mind, or sometimes you do it to organize your thoughts.
Okay, so here, and here's my outlook. Here's how I look at it. So if I'm meditating for something, if I'm meditating
Yeah.
to do something or whatever, to gain something, to whatever, I'm already messing with the process.
Yeah, that's not meditation.
Mhm.
I'm already messing with it.
Mhm.
It should just be, okay, I'm here, quiet. Whatever happens, happens. You know what I'm saying? Like if thoughts come up, I'm not gonna ignore them or turn them away. Gotta deal with them. They're coming. They'll go.
Mhm.
That's how they move.
It could kind of like you're viewing them like a movie reel. It's passive. I do active meditation at in the forest, in the park, whatever. So the way that works is you observe nature, you observe a rabbit if you see it, but you don't say, "Ooh, look, a rabbit. Ooh, look, I wonder what that tree." Now you're adding thoughts. Now you're not being passive. You're trying to describe things, which is making your mind work, which is the opposite of what you're trying to achieve. You wanna go to that being a little kid who barely can talk, but it's just like observing. And then they're not asking, "Ooh, what is that?" They're just like in awe, like they're just staring at it, like it's their first time. So I walk, I look at the tree, I look at the cardinal, I look at the crane, I look at the ducks, but I don't, unless I'm like goofing around, I'm like, "Hey, come here, ducky, come here, ducky," whatever. But usually I just look at them, just observe them, and keep moving without giving them a definition or.
Mhm.
It's kind of like that's what I prefer active meditation than the traditional meditation of sitting down, because I can achieve the same thing, the same result, and also I love walking, so it's a double, it's a win-win.
So you would say that so in a sense just being present, right?
Yeah, present, yeah.
Just doing your best to be present.
In the moment.
You know, now I'm thinking about
Hmm?
I'm thinking about the chip, how it would play a role in that. But
Uh,
I don't.
because like I feel like the chip is anything computerized, it's man-made. It's artificial. That's one. So if it's artificial, it's doing something, or it's to improve something, or to compute something. To you know what I mean? Like I can't describe it right now, but I don't have the right words right now. But when it comes to meditation, it's not something you can force or make something do it for you.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Right. You know, there's guided meditation, right? If the chip work like a guided meditation, then I could see it working with meditation. But if it's like pushing your brain to be in a meditative state, I don't think you're meditating because it's not you're not consciously doing it. Something is in control. You know,
It's like steroids.
right? It's
for
like
meditation. It's like taking steroids when
Is
you're trying to get
meditation,
stronger.
or how I believe it. Remember, this is just me
Yeah.
here. Well, meditation is definitely a spiritual practice. So you remove that spirit element when you start adding these,
Yeah.
you know.
the technology.
Technology.
Yeah. Damn, Flamo broke it down. I said a whole paragraph. He broke it down in 2 sentences. Love it. I'm animated, man. I can't help it, bro. Can't help it. I just that's just my personality. I love it about me. But
What do you love?
being animated.
Oh, animated.
Yeah.
You like animating.
Animated.
You like animating on a.
Because yeah, I like to express myself
Mhm.
the way I want to, whether it be goofy, silly, or even though that's the same thing, or like exciting or
Yeah.
sad. If I'm sad, I'm sad, dude. Like, I don't know what to tell you. Like, I'm gonna enjoy my sadness. You know? Oh man.
Do you whenever you're feeling like, let's say you're feeling sad
Hmm.
or goofy or happy, do you try to incorporate that in your art, or what do you-
Definitely, definitely. Definitely.
like
Yeah.
like let's say you're feeling sad, would
Or should I say infinitely?
yeah.
Not definitely. Definitely has an end. Infinitely, I always do that. Like it's a, it's part of me. Almost.
And it's, well, from the outside, if you, it's like a pretty good way to express yourself, like if you're able
Yeah.
to, because you can write your, or you can
Yeah.
write or say all like your emotions or what's on your mind, and if you do it like in a way that sounds good,
Yeah.
even the listener, and if it's like very impactful, the listener can like feel
You,
and
yeah.
understand.
That was like that's similar to my latest project, Memory Card. So I took different segments of my memory, and usually I don't write personal songs, or because I like to have entertainment songs, like songs that entertain you
Mhm.
through different emotions, but nothing personal about my life and what I went through, or whatever. And so I felt like I expressed a lot of things that I had inside
Yeah.
that needed to be expressed for me in order for me to like move on, you know, in a sense, or move on to making different music and being less stuck in the past, you know. Sometimes you got to express the past pains or the past things that brought you to where you are so you can be able to let that go. And I feel like Memory Card, that album, that LP, really, it 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 did that for me. I felt like a weight was lifted off my shoulder. Um um even like the song, what song was that? A Sake Bomb, right? Sake Bomb is like more of a song about my influences when I
Mhm.
was growing up.
Yeah.
So I'm talking about like, popping this shit like I'm big in this bitch. So it's like I'm talking about Big and Tupac, Trick Daddy, Trina, and all them.
Mhm.
It was like at the time, listening to them, I didn't really like them, but it's stuck in my memory. It's like their music is stuck in my memory because of what I was going through at the time, whatever. So even though that song isn't deeply personal, the entertainment part was personal. If you get me, like, you know,
Oh,
Yeah.
I thought you were gonna say something.
I thought you was gonna say something.
No, 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 no,
You
no.
were like,
You had a
I
hand,
was,
but you.
I was just feeling my energy, man.
I really thought you were gonna say something.
I was just feeling my energy, bro. Because energy is always moving. I don't know if y'all notice this. Because you could feel it. You could feel it. It's
Yeah,
weird. It's
definitely.
crazy. But you gotta be aware of
I
it.
mean, yeah. There's.
I agree.
I don't know if we talked. Maybe we talked about this with Carlos.
No
like there's-
Santana.
No, how there's always there's stuff going on in that, like in the air that we can't perceive, you know, because that's not what we our eyes don't let us perceive, like
Yeah,
the oxygen or
yeah.
There's a lot of
or
stuff
the-
happening
the-
around
like
us.
the waves or like the
But
frequencies.
um, you know, so there's a lot of stuff that we even sense as humans with our bodies, right? A lot of things are happening at once.
Definitely.
Like millions of things are happening at once. But we're only allowed isn't the word, but we can only perceive a handful of them at once. So for an example, you have a lot of skin around, like you're filled with skin,
Mhm.
but you're not always like focused on what's going on your knee, unless it's some sort of pain that's bothering you. But what's going on in your knee and then what's going on in your back or whatever shoulder, you're not focused on all of those. But if you do pinpoint an area in your body, you can start to feel like you. 'Cause so if I say knee, now your attention is on your knee.
knee.
You know what I'm saying? So now you're like, oh damn, yeah, my knees are right there. But if that's not brought to your attention, it's just, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Like,
Anyways, when I had my hand up, I could literally feel like the pulsating of, the energy inside my hand.
AKA Rasengan.
Nah, man, I feel it, bro. You can do it. You can do it. That's besides the point. But yeah, man, it's good to have like those projects where you could just put it all down. You could just lay it,
Lay it all
lay it all out, put it out, and just finally close that chapter. And then
Close.
you can close that door, man, and just walk into another one and see where it takes you, see where life takes you, see where you know, see what challenges you're supposed to face in this new chapter in life, because it's always going to be challenges regardless of where you are. You'll always have challenges. To think that things are always going to be blue and happy and sunny, that's a figment, like that's a lie. You got to go through things, you have to deal with things in order to grow, as an individual, as a person.
You
And-
think?
What?
Well, I was gonna ask. You think you could grow without it though?
About what? Challenges?
Without not challenges, but without necessarily going through like pain.
100%. So here, and I mentioned this to you, and I believe I told this to Keem as well. We had a conversation. Damn, the jazz is getting louder as I'm speaking. But
They got somebody with a saxophone in the back.
so
Feeling you.
so we were talking about. Let me see if I can get my thoughts right. Okay, so we were talking about self-expression, and I shared that there was a moment in my life, growing, of course, where I wasn't as expressive. I was very quiet. I was a very quiet kid. So much so to the point where in high school it got even serious. It got worse.
Yeah.
In high school, throughout my years, if you weren't in my circle, in my group of friends that knew, oh yeah, he's human. You know what I'm saying? If you weren't a part of that team and group, to the outside world, man, to everybody else, that kid is mute. You know what I'm saying? Like, he doesn't say anything, and he's funny without saying anything. Like, he doesn't say anything, and he's funny. So much
Funny
so,
looking.
I mean, in classes, bro, teachers would be like, "All right, popcorn read," or "We're reading," or whatever the case
Y'all
may
went
be.
to the same school, right?
Yeah.
whatever. You feel me? So I'd be in class, and the teachers would be like, "All right, so now read." And I'd stare back at her like, "Bro, you know I'm not saying nothing. Like, y'all don't know what you think." I don't know what you think this is.
What do you
like,
think this is?
You think I just don't talk to the kids? And you different? Like, no. So
Cold-blooded.
cold-blooded. Have girls walk up to me, "Hey, oh my God, you're cute. Oh, you think you're gonna get something different?" No, like no one's getting nothing.
You ain't
You know what
talking
I'm
to me.
saying? Unless you were in my group of friends. And so because I didn't have any of those, I was never expressive growing up because I didn't have that. It really stripped my development. You feel me? Like I wasn't developing as a person.
Well, socially.
You know what I'm saying? Social period.
Yeah.
I wasn't developing. I wasn't out there. I wasn't outside.
I think that's
know?
part of the process.
But hear me. I wasn't outside during those times. But now that the self-expression is coming out and I'm able to like really tap into who I am, who I truly am as a person, it's on a greater scale. It's more powerful because I never got used to it growing up. You know, at those stages of growth, I never got used to it. So now I'm able to say, you know what? I don't care. Like, I can be this, that, and the third, and whatever you say don't matter to me because I got that it doesn't matter to me during that time. I wasn't talking to you, and it didn't matter how you felt about it. So now
you were in your own personal space.
it didn't matter how you felt about it. I was in my own imagination, living my own world. So now, where it's like, okay, yo, I am talking to you, but I still don't care how you feel. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is me because I've already developed that.
I feels.
Don't care.
I feels.
So yeah, man, self-expression is a big thing, and I feel like if I didn't go through that in my life, I would have never been here. If I was expressing myself way earlier on and you know, in my life, I would have been a completely different person. I would have probably been like super, I don't know, like out there, maybe. And I don't mean this in a bad way, no connotations to this, but real flamboyant. Like I would have been just, yo, what's up? You know what I'm saying? Just shoulders just moving. Like I don't care.
Pop, lock, and drop.
Yeah, I would have been real real outside, doing my
Flair.
own thing, doing my own thing. But no, you know. But yeah, dude, it's all a part of the process, and you can't change any of those things. You just have to own it and you know keep going, like
Keep grinding like Tony Hawk.
keep grinding like
I think he stopped
Tony
grinding
Hawk,
a long
or break your back like Bruce Lee.
You are so right. he did retire. But his game's still grinding.
Yeah,
What?
didn't they re-release?
Hold on, I got a question though. Why do you ask that? Do you believe that you can, you don't need
Why?
the growth, or you can go without growth?
No.
Without
Why did I ask
change?
that? Well, I originally asked that because I felt like before I thought like, before I was thinking like you needed pain in order to grow,
Not always.
but
Not
you
always.
don't. And even going through pain doesn't even necessarily entail growth.
Okay.
Right.
So it's not that you need pain in
Yeah.
order to grow. Everyone's different. But all right. So let's say we go through the same pains, through the same hardships or something, right? We're in a similar boat. That doesn't mean we'll both come out of it the same person.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like you got whatever you got from that hardship.
Like if we both lose an arm, the right arm.
Damn.
Like
All right.
Let's say we
We both lose an arm.
Yeah.
You may look at it like, yo, without this arm, bro, I feel like I can do anything. That arm was holding me back, to be honest with you. Like
That
now,
arm was holding me
that
back.
arm was holding me back. Now I can open doors with my left hand. You know what I'm
Now
saying?
with
Like
less. What the
I
hell?
never opened the door with my left hand.
Right.
Now I'm doing everything with my left. I'm like, I'm amazing. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Get a prosthetic.
But me, I look at it and I'm like, yo, damn, without this arm, I can't do nothing.
Like, oh,
There's like two perspectives, right?
Yeah, I can't do nothing. There's always the
Always.
polarity.
Does one person see as a good, like not a good thing, but one person see the positivity out of it, and another person the negativity,
It's
right?
the coin. It's like the same coin. How do you like what side are you on the coin, right? The
Yeah.
polarity factor. But
Polarity.
yeah, it doesn't even have to be like that. That's an extreme. I can still say, yo, hey, I'm missing this arm, but with this missing arm, I can do different things
Yeah.
with it. Or my view on Earth or on this planet or existence is different. It's like, okay, yo, so now I walk around and I see people with like, missing, ligaments
Limbs.
and stuff.
Yeah.
And I say, yo, there's no excuse for you to not do whatever it is that
Yeah.
you want to do because
Yeah.
I'm still doing me
Mhm.
with this missing arm. You feel me?
Right.
Whereas people may not. But
People stay victim.
yeah,
Victimized.
so and we could both have that same outlook but still achieve different like values from it, if that makes sense. That's if we even decide to see it that way.
Hashtag values.
And
Because some people don't use the wisdom that's gained from the experience. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes we can have things happen to us and then keep it in that traumatic state where it's always limiting. It always limits us from accomplishing the things that we want to do. For an example, one more and then I'm done. For an example, I can go through extreme hardships as a kid, but maybe, and let me describe it a little bit more. So I can get beat, you know, as a kid growing up, I can get beat every day, whatever. You know what I'm saying? I can get beat every day. I can come from a household that was like extremely rigorous when it came to like discipline,
Yeah,
and
sure.
then grow up to be yo, like an army dude, like
Yeah,
very military base where I'm always like,
It
all
goes
right,
both
this
ways.
that has to get done, whatever. But that came from my childhood hood of just intense
Yeah.
discipline. You feel me? But that shaped me to be who I am.
Yeah.
You feel me? So that's a very extreme, but anything like that can shape you and put you on a path that leads you to an ever-ending destination, an ever-going destination, right? The destination only ends the day that you close your eyes. But
I rocks with it.
you feel me?
Mhm.
I feel
It'll
it.
shape you. Different things will happen to you,
Yeah.
but that's all a part of your path. Now, it's when you get that blind side where the stuff can happen to you, but now you're that victim.
Mm.
Now you're that
Staying victim.
you know what I'm
victim
saying?
Yeah.
But it's looking at it through the other side with new lens. Like, okay, yo, this right here. I'm using this to make me a better person,
Yeah.
better individual, and that's what I take from that, bro.
Perspective
So
is really interesting. Oh, go ahead.
pain. No, just
Very,
to answer your
very.
question,
Yeah.
pain is not necessary, but it's one of those sculpting instruments. It does shape you.
But yeah. What I was gonna say is perspective is it's crazy how many things go into your perspective. Like, for example, even like the food you ate that day can have an effect on the perspective of a certain event, or even the weather that's happening outside can really impact the perspective you have on a certain event.
Yeah,
It's interesting to think about.
I can
But
I can see
mostly,
that. I can see that.
but mostly it's your past experience. Like what has life been for you that will shape your experience or your perspective.
Yeah, I feels that. I feels.
That's why I don't. Well, it and thinking like that is helpful to, like, at the end of the day, not like judge people. Just we're all humans. So
Yeah, definitely. I judge people, man. I do.
you say you judge people.
I judge people internally. I do. I do.
I mean, internally, I
But
think.
I wouldn't just judge somebody like to judge them off bat. Like I'm really considerate, but not with just my action, but with my words too. You know what I mean? So I know my words is a tool. I know my words can also be a weapon. So I got so some, especially for myself. I'm very animated and passionate in how I speak, so it might come off as like aggressive
Yeah.
or sharp. So I learned, like, I guess I learned how to communicate with different individuals, learn their way of communicating and just adapting to it, but not to the point where I'm doing it to compromise my needs or compromise who I am as an individual. It's more of an understanding, like especially when we talking about perspective. If I look at your perspective, because I like, so let's say there's a dispute,
Yeah.
you know, I like to see both sides, even though I can kind of peep that, all right, you're in the wrong, but at least I like to like at least hear both sides. And when I say in the wrong, there's evidence that, yeah, you did it, like you pop his tire, just give you an example.
You got me.
But then again, I want to hear the guy who said, yo, he popped my tire. I want to hear his side, and I want to hear the guy who popped the tire guy's side. Why you? They said you popped. I won't even say you popped the tire to the guy who did it, whether he did it or not. I would say, so people are saying that you've done this popping tire type thing. Is that true? What's your take on that? Like, how do you what word? I forget the word, but what's your take? I'll just say, what's your take on that? What's your angle on that? What's your truth in that? And then I'll go to the person, the victim, of course, and I'll ask them, kind of like how a judge does it, hearing both sides. And I think that's important, especially when we talk about perspective. We gotta just not just look at ours. We gotta kind of see what the other person is seeing sometimes. You know, I think that makes that makes great wisdom in my book, at least.
No, I think that's definitely important. And I mean, now now it's getting harder to find like well, like what kind of really divided.
Yeah, like my mom, right? Like she was confused by the Asian culture. She was calling everybody Chinese. Oh, this
Yeah.
Chinese person. I'm like, Mom, it's Japanese. There's Chinese.
Yeah.
And so I'm giving her different perspective. And once I can tap into like how she can perceive it in her way,
Yeah.
now, because sometimes people, in order for somebody to get a perspective, you have to say it in the way that they can understand it, because everybody don't understand the same thing like everybody else. Everybody has a different learning process. Everybody have a different way of looking at something. So I had to break it down to the way, because she was in culturally advanced. I had to break it down to like, all right, Mom, here's where, take out the map.
Yeah.
Like, here's where China is, and here's what Japan is. They're next to each other, but they're different people. And then, okay, that gave her like, oh, okay. Now she
Yeah.
kind of understand, because I gave her like a visual example.
Actually, that's pretty good, especially because if you don't know about the
Right.
geography of like the countries and
Yeah, well, my mom ain't,
Yeah.
American. She's Caribbean. So
Yeah.
like, came from the islands. So there's a lot of things that her country didn't teach her at the time. So yeah, sometimes you just gotta speak the person's language. You know,
that's pretty true. Is that what you try to do whenever there's conflict?
I do it like, it's like I found myself being the mediator a lot, dude.
Yeah.
I don't even like pursue it. They just choose me. Like even in my work field, they'll go, oh, so Tom, he, Tom, he filled out the paperwork, but it was inaccurate, and I'm like, but why you telling? All right, why you telling me this though? And then Bill will come. I didn't file the paper inaccurate. They didn't read it right. Now Tom and Bill is coming to me to take a side. You know what I mean? Tom's like, they won't say it, but it's like I get that a lot. Like where people
your
want
point.
me to mediate,
Yeah.
but I don't take sides. I just see what makes sense. The legit, like, all right. Let me see the paperwork you talking about. Okay, yeah, you kind of did like mess up on there. You know what I mean? I look at those facts. I don't look at emotional responses to dispute something or to um what's that word? Harmonize the situation. Put the situation in harmony. I try to stay away from mediating. I
mean, it
attracted
could,
a lot.
I mean, yeah, that takes a lot of your energy
Yeah.
because you got two,
yeah.
like, especially the people are upset. Then you got two angry people yelling at you.
Yeah.
I try for conflict. I mean, I try my best. I feel like sometimes I'm stubborn, and what's it called? And you know the being too smart for your own good sometimes,
Yeah.
where you think you're right.
You think you're always right?
Yeah, you
That
think
type
you're
of thing?
right. No, I don't think I'm always right. I know I'm not.
Yeah, that's the
But when you
simplest
think
stuff,
you're right,
Yeah.
then you're like very firm with your beliefs in a way. But it's being able to
Stubborn, obstinate,
Yeah.
all of that. Yeah.
it's being able to like take a step back and like really think about what you're saying or what you're doing,
Mm-hmm.
what you're thinking, and if the conflict's with another person, then try to understand their point of view and But at the end of the day, like
Even
you
even
shouldn't, like
even stubbornness has its polar opposite, which is consistent.
yeah.
So you could be consistent on something, man. This works and it's giving me millions.
Mhm.
Nobody's gonna change that. Somebody's trying to throw a new idea. Maybe if you throw in that boat with that idea, it'll give you some, across the seas money. And he's like, no, I'm good here. It's making me money. I don't need to expand. And but then it's actually working for him. That's consistency,
Yeah.
and that's what he wants. But then there's stubbornness. Let's say he's not doing great in sales, and this guy's like, yo, put a boat in your business and you could sell overseas. And he's like, nah, I'm gonna stick to how I was doing things, but you're bombing, bro. You're not, your company is suffering. That's stubborn. But but you get me, they both
Yeah.
do the same thing. It's just that one don't listen. They both don't listen. They both got that aspect.
Well, no, they both do the same thing repeatedly.
Right. Yeah, so they both do
Yeah.
the same thing repeatedly, put in routine, but one is more in the
One-
right and the other one is more in the wrong, which would be stubborn and
Well,
consistency.
it's stubborn. It's stubborn in the wrong. Wait, what is the definition of stubborn?
Stubborn, hard-headed.
No, I know, but like, is it necessarily bad? Is what I'm trying to ask. Like,
It depends on what context.
having or showing a dog determination not to change one attitudes. In spite of good arguments or reason to do something.
Right.
So yeah, it is bad. Yeah, because
Yeah.
there's good reasons to change your viewpoint or whatever, and
But you choose not to,
yeah, you
right?
choose not to. So
Yeah. That's
yeah.
basically it.
What about you, Renat? How do you take? What's your? How do you deal with conflict?
I don't know, man.
The man runs away.
I don't really know how to answer that though.
What do you try to do? Like, if there's let's say there's conflict, what do you try to do?
What type of conflict?
Let's say there's an
I have no
argument.
idea.
Like, oh, you took my cereal box, or I don't know, or something.
I chill. I vibe, bro. I let you do you. I let you do you.
Mhm. Wait.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know what to say. Like, honestly, I let you do you. I let you rock. I let you rock with it. You can have the.
Everybody got a different way of like dealing with conflicts, right?
Huh?
I think everybody has a different way.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I just cause I wouldn't even say conflict because I don't even like to put myself in those positions. But if there's ever a misunderstanding, I don't know. I listen. I listen to you.
Yeah.
What do you have to say? And if you're right, then you're right. Like, I sit back and I own it. Like, I earn it. Like, I take it. I take my punches, bro. Punch on me. Punch down on me.
Dang, this man lets himself get abused. With the
I don't know what you want me to say, bro. I don't know, dog.
I treat conflict like a bull and a matador. Like I'm the matador, the conflict is the bull coming at me.
Yeah.
What do? You can ole, dodge the
Yeah.
conflict with the red flag,
Yeah.
trick the bull, or you can stab it until you kill it,
Yeah.
which is what bullfighting is about,
Mm.
right? And so with conflict, I create a strategy for it. So like if it's immediate conflict,
Mhm.
of course you can't create a strategy for it. You can't go to the drawing board and try to work it out because it's immediate.
You-
It's in the moment.
You gotta just
You
react.
gotta like bomb react.
You gotta just. Well, you gotta hope you have good like instincts and reaction, right?
Yeah. So so the strategy I create a blueprint. Like, okay, so I would look at the situation. Why am I in this situation? Why am I against this person? What's the reason? What's the cause? How do I solve it? Is it gonna be with fire with fire? Is it gonna be with a peaceful in a peaceful way?
Yeah.
If I have time to deal with the conflict, I sit back and think about it and try to create a solution for myself, because you can't really, that person might not agree with your resolution,
Mhm.
but you need one for yourself at least, to get yourself out of the conflict or deal with it.
Yeah.
You might have to knock the person out. You know what I mean? Every conflict is different. As somebody's coming at you with a whole bunch of fists and you know how to fight, you show him so he can stop trying to hit you. You know what I mean?
But not all conflict necessarily bad, you know. 'Cause
Yeah,
some is actually might be good because you might
learn
might
from
be,
it.
Yeah, you might be thinking the wrong way, or
Yeah, you might learn from
yeah,
it.
you might
yeah.
learn from it.
Yeah, like I've dealt with conflict a lot, dude.
Yeah.
Like to the point where I don't let it bother me too much unless it's poking at me a lot. Well, like I have to, like, for example, I have to deal with somebody I don't like working with because they're not doing their part of the job right.
Mhm.
And so something you got to deal with, right? It's poking at you. So if my back is against the wall with this person, well, for whatever reason, then some people you have to like put them in their place so they can learn. Sometimes you got to teach that person. Like you might have to knock them out. I don't always have.
beat the hell out of somebody.
I'm telling you, you might have to curse them out. It doesn't always have to be violent. I got active imagination, but you might have to curse them out so they can. Oh my God, you screamed at me. No one ever screamed at me before. Well, you needed it today, so you can learn discernment. So you can learn that other people have feelings too. That and sometimes you gotta fight fire with fire. You gotta be the aggressor too. Sometimes you don't. Sometimes you're the matador with the red cape, and you know use your agility to redirect it and not have it against you.
Yeah.
Sometimes that's necessary, or sometimes you gotta just stop the dude. Yo, stop stealing my stuff. You know what I mean?
This man encouraging violence.
Oh, yeah.
No, I'm joking.
Right.
I'm joking. But I mean, whatever works for you, right? Whatever. I mean, not even, but whatever works for everyone,
Everybody
Fine.
deals with
Yeah.
conflict different.
What's interesting is a lot of us grow up like, because our first conflict is, with the parents, right?
Yeah.
And we grow up with like if depending on your household, you grew up with like no input in the conflict, like when you're wrong, and like you.
Yeah.
There is no-
That reminds me of my dad.
Yeah, there is no-
That's about right.
There is
That's about
no repeat.
about right. That's
So
about-
it's interesting because once you're in the real world, like
Yeah.
you have the choice of showing your side or saying your
Right.
side.
Like I learned I learned a lot from my parents. I learned a lot from my dad. Learned a lot from my mom.
Yeah.
Like my dad was still is in a sense. he liked to see his point of view a lot. More than the other. Like he'll hear your point of view, but he thinks he's in the right. So
So, a lot of parents.
right. And so that, like, how do you deal with that? You know,
Yeah.
it's your dad, right? How do you deal with that? It comes with maturity. It comes with learning how to like respond. You know, like for example, my dad, yesterday, he had this chicken in the fridge from Pollo Tropical. It's like, I saved the chicken for you, and it's like 8 a.m. Yeah, you should eat it now. No, eat it now. Eat it now. No, you gotta eat it now. And I'm like, no, I don't. That's not how my body works. You know, sometimes you gotta give them a logical explanation so they can get it, or fire with fire. He was eating noodles with some hot dogs. I'm like, you eating that in the morning? And I did a little slide joke, made my mom laugh. Boom, he left me alone. He's like, it was friendly, but it's like, you know, with some splash of humor. But sometimes that's just like a light version of, you just gotta not everybody you just have a nice conversation and then they're gonna get you. Sometimes you gotta put them in their place. You know, shout out to my dad.
I think what helps me too is like if there's ever any conflict with like my dad or anything, it's just understanding that like most likely the reason they think they're always right is because they grew up the same way, where their father thought that they were always right. And that tends to happen.
But my dad ain't slick. Like even today, my dad was like, he'll show me some pictures and he was like, look at these thugs. I'm like, all right. Then he was like, man, I was a thug too. Okay. And so
yeah, that's funny.
Yeah,
he was out there in the streets.
He was out there in the streets, man. He was doing it too, man. And he trying to judge and shit. But it's cool. I love that honesty though. You know, honesty is important.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You know you're flawed too. You know, even though you judging that person for being a certain type of way, you're like, man, last time I heard that, you was at jail, bro. I ain't going to jail. You know what I mean? But, you know, it's just how it is.
All right, I think we're going to wrap it up then, unless Renard wanted to say. Flamo, you got anything to say?
I'm all right. I'm good, man.
He got his
It's a
ginger
great-
tea. But yeah, thank you guys for tuning in.
Yeah.
It's been an episode of Deep Thoughts
Hey.
with Jason and Renard, or Flamo, or Rojo, or
You said
a lot of
Jason
things.
Beyond.
And we got Beyond in the building today.
Oh, you are
We
Jason. What am I saying? My fault. My mind was elsewhere. I know.
Don't do drugs, kids.
Don't do drugs, man. It's just kratom. But yeah, thanks for having me. I enjoyed the conversation.
What's your IG for the people?
IG Beyond for Creator. I also do some vlogs out there. So if y'all want to hear me more, I'm there. And it's
Put it in the description.
I'll put it in the description. It's your boy Beyond. I keep it swave with 2 3s, aka 2 E's. You know how we do. Peace.
We out. Bye. I hope you enjoyed the video. No, but if you enjoyed, like it. If you didn't, don't like it, hate, say something in the comments and say you hate me, you hate him, you hate somebody. Just do it, all right? Just do something. You know, enjoy your life. Have a good day.
Who did you point at?
Him.
Oh, you hate me? Well, I don't give a damn. And if you do, leave a comment. Tell me how much you do so I can read it before I go to sleep and then think about it all night long and shit. Anyways, like, comment, subscribe. I'm out. Fuck.